Hey everybody, welcome back to Recall the Podcast. My name is Josh, and today we've got a whole brand new state to add to the list of all the places we've been so far, which is North Carolina, and our guest is a man named Hunter. Hello, Hunter.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I am doing just
I'm
fine.
I'm over here in North Carolina, and we're doing a little bit of music today, so I'm excited for that. We got a lot of things going on.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm going to switch over so we can see both of us at the same time and probably just keep it there for the most of it. So you and
Yeah, no worries.
You and I got in contact through Facebook about your Discord service that you've been offering, and I would love to hear, and I'm sure my followers would like to hear what the Discord is and what it's about.
Yeah, so our Discord is just a community of musicians, and it's really designed just for kind of DIY people, smaller bands, bigger bands, even. If anybody can come in that is a little bit more knowledgeable than somebody else, then we consider that value. So
Cool.
anybody that can join, anybody who's a part of a band, whether it's underground or if you're a bigger band, we're always in there for discussions, collaboration, support, and encouragement. And we have other sides of the platform to help bands collaborate.
Now, what got you started in doing the Discord in the first place?
I just wanted to set up a real community because I saw the value in just having somebody else there to be like, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Keep going, keep at it. Because I was in a band that I would bring stuff to them and be like, hey, I did this, we're working on these things, and I didn't get much of a response. So I thought it'd be really cool to reach out to other people like me who are really kind of like the head of the band, the people making the decisions and getting educated about this kind of stuff so they can further their bands. So I thought it would be a great idea just for us to be able to come together in that way and support each other, encourage each other. And it kind of bloomed into a huge platform that is really versatile.
Yeah, I've stopped into a couple of them. I'm going to get to asking about the rules because I don't know what the rules technically are. I know there is a thing on there that says the rules. I'm not going to lie, I didn't read it yet.
Yeah, it's just a guideline, really. I mean, just be respectful, be nice. If somebody tells you, hey, don't say that, or that was inappropriate, if you can't stop, I mean, we have to ban you, but I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
pretty general stuff.
My more of a question of it is because I do plan on stopping by and visiting the Discord here and there. You run it every Tuesday, correct?
Yep, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. East.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, like, I don't know if I'm allowed to have my camera on. The first time I showed up, I just turned the camera on because I didn't know.
No, yeah. We try to support and encourage people using their cameras, I mean, it's just, you don't have to if you're uncomfortable with it, but if you can be there, we can all be face to face and kind of have a real discussion. It makes it really fun and engaging.
Very cool. And is there a specific type of genre you would like to have, or is it just anything goes as long as it's respectful?
Yeah, pretty much anything goes. I mean, I reach out personally to metalcore bands, deathcore bands, anything in that realm. We've had some pop punk bands, some hardcore bands. So really anybody that wants to get in there, meet new people in the alternative scene and make connections because like last week we had two guys from Canada and they were basically in the same scene but didn't know each other, and that was just a really cool connection to see happen.
Yeah, and I actually made a connection the first time I went too, as well. This is like a personal experience. I had went in and I had showed a song from one of my friends' bands, Desolation. And there was a guy in the chat, and he was like, "How do you know Desolation?" And I was like, "Well, I had him on the podcast, and I've talked to him a little bit, and they don't live too far from me, so we've seen each other. We're friends." And he was like, "I'm going on tour with them in a couple of weeks." And now we're all connected. So.
That's great. Yeah, exactly. And I just feel like social media filters out so much.
Yeah.
We have all of our all of our friends have a band photo as their picture, but like, how many of those do you really see in your feed? This is a
Exactly.
place where we can come together specifically for those kind of music industry connections.
Exactly. And you post on your Facebook a little bit about skateboards and board decks for musicians, and I'm kind of confused on what that is. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the platform is called Alliance Unity,
Okay.
and
That's the whole
we
thing,
have
right?
a merch side. Yeah, that's the whole thing. The merch side is where we do bulk orders for bands.
Okay.
So, say there's a 50-piece minimum, we could have two bands that get 25 pieces or five bands that get 10 pieces. And it just makes it where everyone still gets the bulk pricing without having to go all the way up to a huge bulk amount at one time. And I just think it makes a lot of like novelty items and unique custom merch a lot more accessible for smaller bands.
That's very cool. And so does that specialize in skateboard decks or?
Yeah, we do. We have a huge number of items that we offer, and we do all kinds of apparel too. Skateboards is just one of the newest releases, for lack of a better term. So it's been really cool.
Very cool, man. I gotta say, it's really, really, really nice to see someone that is as community driven as I am, because like I don't get paid for any of this. I've tried to do some donations and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, but for the most part, I don't really get paid to do the podcast. I just do it because I want to be able to make new friends and talk to people that are into the same thing I'm into. So it's really a blessing to be able to see that there's a lot more people out there that are really community driven and trying to do things for their community, and that kudos, man, really kudos.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I just I saw hangups with my band that I was like, yo, if I have to go hit up 50 different people, one guy for bracelets and one guy for wallets and one guy for chains and whatever else you want to offer as a band, it's like you get so convoluted.
Right.
Why, if I'm going to make those connections, why not go ahead and make that a place where everybody can come to get those connections at one time?
That's a good point. Are you currently in a band?
Yeah, I am currently in a band.
Okay.
And we have not officially announced me as a member, so I don't want to say too much.
Don't get in trouble, yeah.
But if you join Alliance Playback, I will show our music video.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So to everybody watching this, make sure to go and join Unity Alliance.
Right.
What instrument do you play?
I play guitar.
Guitar?
Yeah. I've been playing for about 11 years now.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, what kind of music do you generally play on said guitar, sir?
I'm really into metalcore, a little bit of djent, maybe even step into the prog realm a little bit, but I'm not a crazy guitarist. I love to play, and there's just something that keeps pulling me back to writing songs and jamming with the guys,
Right. It's been a thing for me. I started off on drums and then moved into guitar, and then I was, for a small stint, I was a bassist, and now I'm the vocalist. I've kind of been around the board.
Hey, all over the place. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and it boosts me a little bit for what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Which I'm doing a lot of the recording, a lot of engineering, and like if someone comes in and doesn't have a bassist, I can always fill in or something like that.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it took a long time to get there. I'm pretty happy with the things that I've done.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things on your Facebook. A lot of adventures you've been going on. I believe were you singing on stage with? There was a picture of you singing on stage with what looked like either karaoke or something like that.
Yeah, it was emo night. I went to emo night with some of my friends. We boys sang some emo songs, and it was dope.
They allowed guitarists and stuff up there, yeah, because that looked like what the picture was.
So they have like a traveling band that does every vocals, and they pretty much just go out every weekend.
Okay. Very cool. And I had
Yeah,
wrote a
yeah, that's it.
small note that February 1st you had posted that you had a new project, but we've already kind of discussed that a little bit. So I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
check.
happening. So the details about that are that we have a 6-song EP that we're kind of working on finishing up the editing before we send off to mixing and mastering. We're hoping to start doing some shows in the spring, hopefully start releasing some singles around that time or in the summer. And I think it's going to be really dope. It's a really cool album. I love it. It brings a lot of melodic aspects to the band,
Right.
and I think it's going to be really strong. So I'm super hyped.
Very cool. Very cool. What got you into music in the first place?
Man, honestly, I just went through it as a kid with my parents, and I got grounded one day and pretty much only had a guitar. So I was like, all right, I'm about to learn some Nirvana, I'm about to learn some Blink 182. And that's what started it all. I got into all the Remains. I started getting into metalcore, like Asking Alexandria, that kind of thing, all the way through the emo phase, through the weird gent phase, and into whatever it is now that it's like
It's
metalcore rock,
it's not
which
that
I'm totally
weird,
cool
okay?
with.
Gent is not that weird, okay?
It was just a phase. It was a whole moment.
Oh man. I did write down an inspiring quote from you, and it actually kind of resonated with me. So I'm going to read a little bit of it now and kind of talk about it a
Right?
little with you. Yeah, it was on your Facebook. I do research, something that I had read, and I was like, wow, they're like, I get this. So it says,
Yeah.
imagine waking up 10 to 20 years from now, and you realize that you settled, that you let comfort, fear, and someone else's expectations keep you locked in life and drained you instead of chasing the one that fuels you. That's the real nightmare. Regret is way worse than failure because at least failure means you tried. I 100% agree
Yeah.
with that statement.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, if you look, whatever happens here, but at least I can say I tried.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you have two options. You can either be like, well, I suck. I'm not going to try anymore. Or you can be like, well, I learned this one little thing. Let me try one more time.
Right, yeah. And like I've noticed, like the continuation of this band is a series of little failures that have taught me something that improves me for the future. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If something goes wrong, use it as a lesson to carry on to the next time. And then when that scenario happens again, you've learned what not to do, at least, you know?
Yeah, no, I just like to live really deeply, man. I'm just here for the roller coaster of emotions. Like,
Right.
I want to feel it all, you know? Like, why not take those chances? Why not just live through it and really have some substance at
That's
the end of the
exactly
day,
right.
you know?
That's exactly right. Yeah. And I mean, like, I'm sure you've had a whole lot of adventures with that mindset as well. Is there any of those that you can speak of or you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of times I've kind of put myself out there with Alliance. Honestly, I didn't really, for one, I didn't want to start a merch store because I'm like, well, everybody wants a merch store. Everybody is trying to sell T-shirts or whatever, but I found a way to make it different, you know, and
Right.
that's because I had an e-commerce background, because I took risks and chances there, you know, and even with my band, like my old band, there was a show that had like 4 or 5 bands on it already. We were like, "There's no way we're gonna get this." So, but we asked anyway, and we landed it. And it was like, I don't know how we're gonna finish the set in time, but at least we landed that crazy spot. It was with Necrogoblicon and Ether Realm and Hunt the Dinosaur. There's one other
Wow.
band I can't remember. Sorry, that band, but it was
Yeah,
a sick show.
it happens. I've done those types of things too. Like when we started doing the podcast, I didn't think I was going to get anybody on, and then I started getting like requests to be on, and I'm like, how do I,
Yeah.
how do I keep getting this lucky? You know, there's no way these people want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, but they do. And it's been fun. I've made a lot of friends. And that's been the benefit of this whole thing is like the amount of people that like you just know are really good people and you just never had the chance to meet them yet. So
yeah, that's how it's been for me too, man. I mean,
exactly.
It's just crazy to how receptive other people are to the same thing that you want. Like, why not?
Yeah, because I mean, you never know what's going to happen. You know, you could make all the stuff on the Discord or the podcast, and no one show up.
Yeah, exactly.
But
we've had nights where nobody showed up.
Same. I've had shows that nobody showed up. So
that's brutal. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm here to live the deep life.
Right. I usually ask every podcast guest some weird or random or different questions just to kind of keep them on their toes a little bit or whatever.
Here we go.
So we will start with, what profession would you have been doing right now if you had never become a musician?
That's a really tough one for me, man. It really is, because my first thought is I have no idea. But honestly, it would probably be something that's like living deeply, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really kind of into spirituality and stuff. I feel like I would probably take up something like yoga or whatever. I don't know, but it would definitely be something that I can like connect with myself in that flow state.
Yeah, man, that would be cool. Honestly,
I mean, that's what music is, right?
Yeah.
Just tapping into that flow state. It's all muscle memory and just coming at you so fast and you're still knocking it out.
I would probably do something very mundane, like I don't know, construction or something, you know.
Yeah, so.
I don't know what else I would do outside of music, you know. Like, I love this stuff, but if I'd have never picked up an instrument, I'd probably just done what everybody else in Delaware does and go into construction of some kind, you know.
Yeah, right. Whatever pays the highest.
Yeah, whatever pays the highest, you know, and I got a family and stuff, so it would.
Yeah, for real.
It would have made a whole lot of sense. I mean, we do well for ourselves, you know. But this, I love this life, dude. I love being able to, you know, reach out and talk to like people like you and just like pick your brain for a few minutes and put it on the internet, and then my friends and I will talk about it a couple of weeks after it gets released, and like, you know, making friendships. And like I had said in the beginning, this is the first time the podcast has ever been done in North Carolina, which there is a map, and I will place the map somewhere around here. Maybe I'll just cover the whole screen of all the places that Recall the Moment has had a podcast with. And we're going to put your name, or would you rather Unity Alliance as the name on North Carolina?
You can do Alliance Unity, or you can do my name. Either way, man, honestly. I think we both have about the same reach at this point.
So, yeah, one of them will be on the map when it gets put onto the screen, wherever it ends up.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And I'll definitely make sure to put a link in the description to your Discord and any other links you send me prior to release of this. Next question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, honestly, I hope that Alliance is funding the dream.
Yeah.
And I'm able to take care of my band, take care of my family, and just do the things without feeling trapped, you know, because as soon as you lock in with a contract with a label, as soon as you get on the tour bus and you can't afford to quit the tour, you're getting in sketchy territory, you know? I mean, anything could happen. And I just like to have a solid foundation. Security, yeah.
Yeah. I know a couple of bands kind of going through that right now. I'm not going to say names, but you know who you are.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I know how it goes. I mean, I totally get it. And there's something to be said, too, for putting yourself out there in that way and just being like, no, I'm I'm doing this thing, so no diss at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful either, but sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta really, 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 this is for everybody out there, read the fine print in your contracts before you sign anything.
Yeah.
So it's important. Make sure you get your lawyer. Get just if anything, get a lawyer to have go over it or something.
I just can't imagine only getting 30% of your earnings,
Yeah, I know.
and then you got a 20% merch cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Whoa.
independent my entire life. So
Yeah, right there with you. Right there with you.
so, but definitely get a lawyer, have them go over contracts if labels are reaching out to you, and make sure it's something
Yeah.
you fully understand before you say yes.
And we do educational videos too. We'll have industry pros come in and do a live session for like an hour, and it's just free just to come join and learn about stuff like that, band legal aspects, financial stuff. So that's definitely something we're going to start up in the future again.
Very cool. Very cool. We'll get into the next question then. What does the scene look like in your area?
In my immediate area in Wilmington, honestly, it's kind of older death metal bands, and there's a progressive metal band. There is a kind of Johnny Craig-esque metal band,
Okay.
and there's a third, like more Ask Alexandria kind of vibe. But really, the metal scene thrives about an hour north in Jacksonville, and there is a really nice venue called Hooligans Live.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool bands out there.
Very cool. And it's all like metal and stuff. Like, is there any like rap groups or anything? Like any different type of genres?
Hardcore. There's a couple of metal, rap bands or rap artists rather in Wilmington, but the shows are just kind of few and far between. Wilmington really thrives on like acoustic grunge stuff, so
Gotcha.
it's a little outside of the scope of my specific genre.
Right. Here in Delaware, it's pretty much anything anything lower of Newark, which is the very top of Delaware. Newark and Wilmington are the top. Everything else is on the bottom. Anything south of Newark is pretty much either classic rock cover bands or country.
Yeah, right.
And then
we have some of that too.
Right, yeah. And then in Wilmington and Newark is really where most of the shows happen. And that's about an hour and a half away from me. So it's, and very few and far between. Like you had said, there's 2, maybe 3 decent spots that are regular shows.
Yeah.
And then everything else is kind of sporadic and split up. But I mean, it's so crazy. Is like I say, that top part of Delaware, it's all deathcore, it's all metalcore, it's all like heavy, like security is hired. That's because sick. People are like, sometimes people get aggressive at a deathcore show. Let's just be honest, But
it happens, yeah.
As soon as you hit like Smyrna and down is like all country and rock, and it's like, how did we get? Where was the line?
How did we get here?
Yeah. So, but most of the bands are practicing south of Newark as well. So, like, I have a lot of bands that I know that I'm friends with that are like literally 5 minutes from my house, but all the shows are up north.
Yeah, no, I know how that goes. It's kind of like that here. I mean, we had this one really nice view by the sea. It had a balcony and everything. I saw 10 years there. Saw freaking so many death and metalcore bands. But they shut down probably 5 or 6 years ago, and the metal scene just all moved up to Jacksonville.
Is there any bands that have been on your Discord that you would like to shout out, maybe have made like a impression on you in some way?
Yeah, definitely. Can you still see me by chance?
Yes, I can.
I saved a little list of bands. We had this band called Benji Howard. Dude, they were so good. Really cool female fronted punk band. It's like a really aggressive Paramore,
Okay.
and they were really, really cool. We had this band called Hollow Valley. They were really cool, like Wage War kind of inspired hardcore stuff. And this band called Forsaken Rituals is a guy that joins every single week, and he's really been our biggest supporter, and
Very cool.
super grateful for Taylor. He's dope.
Yeah, Taylor has been there quite some time too. Is he a part of the show?
Yeah. No, he's just a guest that has joined, and I made him a mod because I needed somebody to kind of take over for a couple of weeks.
There you go.
So he came through and he saved the day a couple of times. So I mean, he's obviously a real one. He actually messaged me earlier during this to ask about doing a separate day. We're thinking about doing a different day so people in different time zones can join.
Yeah.
Make it a little easier for accessibility.
Tuesdays are a bit tough for me, personally. I mean, it is what it is. But I do try to show up. And that was the first guy I talked to when I went into the Discord, because you were away for a little while. I think you popped in for like 5 minutes or something to say hi to everybody, but you had something else going on.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But like everybody had left, and then me and Taylor just like sat for like another half hour, just like talking. like, where do you?
Yeah,
live?
no, I love seeing that too. I mean, I normally have to head out at 8 at the latest, but it's really cool to hop back on the Discord and see people are still in there chatting and hanging out. I mean, that's what it's for. So don't feel any kind of way about being in there.
Well, that's good to know. It's a good community. That everybody seems very nice, very happy, and you know, like I said, that first time going in there and having somebody know the bands that I was talking about that are local to me and be like, oh, I'm going on tour with those bands. You know, it's like, man, like we can't be that far away from each other, and I'm definitely going to make it to your show now. So
yeah. It's a small world, man. We just all have to get to know each other.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you would like to touch on?
Honestly, I think we touched on a lot of things. I don't really have a whole lot else going on, but, you know, I'm just trying to support Alliance, trying to kind of grow it with these playback nights and turn it into something that's really beneficial for other people.
And where would people be able to find all the stuff for the Discord?
So for the Discord, you'll have to reach out to me on Facebook so I can send you a link. The link does expire. That's kind of something I have to figure out how to work around, but I can send you a fresh link and you'll be able to join. And then near the bottom, there's a channel called Alliance Playback. That's where we join every week at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Very cool. Is there any other links that you would like to share throughout?
Not right now. I think once we do the band announcement, then I'll have a lot more to share. So I'm really excited for that.
All right, man. Hunter, well, thank you for being on. I'm going to switch over to my cam now and do the outro.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
And as for the Recall the Moment stuff, we do this podcast once a month. We post a music video every now and then. Justice is still on a bit of a hiatus. I know. I've heard all about it, but that's okay. We are getting through. We are doing just fine. He'll be back sooner than you think. So until all that happens, peace and love, everybody.